everyone, I'm Anna, and this is the R5 Leather Workshop. And today, we're going to discuss how to deal with
a bunch of scraps!
So if you've been dealing with leather work with any amount of time, you're going to start to notice that scrap bin piling up. And you might say to yourself, much like I do, I really don't want to throw this stuff out. So today we're going to go through a few things that you can do with your scraps. Some of them are just things around your leather shop. Other ones are little mini projects that use up small bits of leather. I plan to do multiple of these videos, especially leading up into the holidays this year of 2025, so that maybe you can make some simple gifts for people with those scraps as well. So the first thing that I would recommend, so some of the biggest things that I personally use scraps for are testing. So for example, I have a sewing machine behind me right here. This is my industrial sewing machine. So with my sewing machine, I always want to test it when I put a new bobbin in. So I just have a piece of leather sitting over there and I just will stitch stuff to make sure that my stitches look good, or if I've adjusted the stitch length and I want to make sure they look good, I will go through and run this through my machine. So that's an easy way of testing things. I also will do it when I'm hand stitching. So for example here, I was doing a project with this leather and I wasn't sure what color thread I wanted to use. I didn't have one that matched perfectly, and so I stitched both. I stitched a section in two colors that I was looking at and made a decision from there. Another great way to use up your scrap. The other way that I test is, let's say I want to do a bag. This is one I didn't finish because I didn't like how it was coming out. But this is like a mini version of a bag I was going to work on that had gussets. And so these are just little bits of scrap that I used to kind of pull this together to see how things would work. It's also a good way to test new ideas like that. Like if you've never done a gusset before, for example, you can kind of test it with these smaller pieces. I do this all the time, testing how I want to do straps or new attachments, things like that. So scraps are great for that kind of thing. The other way that you can use scraps is pretty simple. Here I use scraps for this little handle for the attachment for my D-ring here. Now usually you can pull scraps from just the project itself to do this, but that is one of the ways you can use scraps, especially if maybe you want to do brown handle, a darker brown handle, like a contrasting color handle with the bag. You can find scrap to make these pieces if you want them to contrast as well. That's another way to use scrap. The other big one I do is washers. So I'll show you actually washers here. So washers are a big one. I tend to use a lot of washers when attaching handles to bags, for example. So you need a few tools to make washers. You need this is a 1/2 inch hole punch. And then you need like a small hole punch to make the washer. They do have a tool, I think Weaver Leather Supply makes it, where it's like an all-in-one piece to hammer these out. A lot of times I've seen them on the leather websites. You can buy pre-made washers, and I'm like, why would I ever buy pre-made washers? Because I have so much scrap, I'd rather use my scrap. So to make a washer, it's super easy. You just pound out the big one. And I'm pretty sure I've shown these on videos before, washers, but always good refresher. And then I try my best to find center. And there you have a washer. I do tend to keep anything I punch with a circle for whatever reason and make washers, and I have a little stash of like bonus washers, so I don't have to make them later. Okay. So those are the main things that I use washers for in like day-to-day leathercraft. I use them for testing, I use them for making washers, little things like that, that maybe I just need a little piece of leather, let's say. These next three are actual projects you can make. So we are going to make here in a second bracelets and a bookmark. And then the last one is coasters, which I actually have a video for. So to make a bracelet, bracelets are super easy. When I first started selling stuff, it's one of the first things I made because I could make a bunch of them and sell them pretty cheap, and especially because I didn't know how things were going to sell. It was a great thing to make with scrap. So here I have a piece of leather. So I'll take this one off. So if you're gonna make bracelets to sell, I would recommend looking up average sizes for small, medium, and large wrists and make a little bit of each size. This was a mistake I made. I actually have a relatively small wrist, and I made most of my bracelets according to my wrist, and they didn't fit a lot of people. So I recommend kind of making bunches of them. And if you have a bunch of scrap, it's not that big a deal. So for example, this one, what I usually do is I try to figure out what my wrist is if I'm making it for myself. This is how I make them for myself. I go around and then I just sort of knock it with my fingernail, and then I measure it. So here's my little knock here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 inches is what we're looking at, and that had a little bit of overlap. I'm pretty sure it did. See, now I don't even trust myself. Yes, it did have a little bit of overlap. So it's more like 7.5 is my wrist. So what I always do is, once you know your wrist length that you want to make it for, if you're making them for friends, same thing. So it's 7.5. I always add an extra inch to that because you're going to lose stuff when you put the snap on it. So with this one, we're going to make a couple little changes with this as well. But first I want to cut it to length. So this is going to be 8.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8.5. This is for me. So you need to do the length of your wrist plus an inch. Okay. Well, my rotary blade just broke. All right. So length of your wrist plus an inch. So in my case, that's 8.5. And then from there, you need to figure out what width you want. So I tend to like a 1/2 inch or potentially 3/8. Let's do a 1/2 inch for this one. And in this case, this was a 1 inch piece of scrap. I could make 2. Isn't that nice? There we go, 2. So then from here, what I do is I curve off the edges. I do not own a 1/2 inch end punch, so my 3/4 will have to do. So I curve these off. That one is not coming out even. There, looks better. I really should try to find a 1/2 inch. So there's that. And from here, if you want, you could finish everything. I'm not going to do that today, but you could token all this and burnish it all if you wanted. But that's up to you. I don't always do that, especially if it's something I'm going to sell for like $2 or something. From a labor perspective, I'll just keep it simple. And then you need to punch 2 holes on either end. There. And then from here, you could use magnetic snaps or standard snaps. We're going to use some standard ones here. So remember when putting snaps together, so this is the pretty side right here. This one is going to go on this side with this piece. So these 2 pieces go together and these 2 pieces go together. So this one will always go on the side that everyone's going to see, and this on the back. Then, okay. And then here are our tools. So with these, like I think I stated before, one of the biggest things, this is really where you're going to mess things up when putting this type of snap together, is on this side, not so much with these. So what I usually do is I set my piece up, set it here, and then I just kind of slowly tap it. Once I feel like I know what I'm doing, then I whack it real hard. Yeah, I didn't set that one real great, but anyway, it's set fine. I just should have punched my hole that way a little more. And then when dealing with this side, you have to think about what's going to happen. So here, so that means you want this piece to be there. So this, what I'm going to call the ugly end, goes underneath, and this here, and then the tool for the other side. And that one I just whack away at it. And then test it and make sure it works, and there's a bracelet. Super easy, simple little gift you can make for people. I think I made a bunch of these for like my nephews and nieces one year for Christmas because I didn't care if they lost them. You know, my sister-in-law and my brother, you know, didn't have to worry about that either. They're like, oh, if they lost it, it's no big deal. So they're very little. So anyway, that's that one. The final little quick project is a bookmark. So I find with bookmarks, you do want a stiffer leather when making a bookmark. This one is been rolled up. So this is a piece of Wicket and Craig in tan. I find I like about 1.5 inches bookmark. And so I tend to cut 1.5 inches. Let's see if we can try and get this thing to work. Oh, see, now it works. Okay. So for bookmarks, I like them to be 1.5 inches wide. So this is just what I like. You can make yours how you want. And kind of make it flat again. So this one's too long. I think I usually make them 6 inches. Oh, that looks right. So this is a 4-inch ruler this way. There's 2 inches there, so line that up. That. Now with the bookmark, I'm not going to do it right now, but what you could do is cut 2 thinner pieces if you wanted. So this one is a piece of 4 ounce. You could take like 2 3 ounces and make them and glue them together and like stitch around them and make it really fancy if you wanted to. But you can also just do it this way also. So there's that piece. Now you could just leave it like this. You really could. It could just be this simple, and that's fine. What I'm going to do though is punch a hole at the middle, right there. And I decided to use this piece of scrap here to put a tie through it. So this one, I'm going to make this 1/4 inch, and I'll show you how I do this. So this is kind of a fun technique here. What we're going to do is you're going to fold it in, I'm going to fold it in half roughly, this piece. Now this is a stiffer leather, but I chose a little more malleable leather for this next part. So I'm going to go part way down because you got to think about your spacing. So I'm going to go about 3/4 inch down, and I'm going to cut as best I can a slice that's about the width of the leather itself. In a bigger hole. Went to the biggest setting for this. There. So, and you may have wondered why I left this kind of flaw there. It's partly because I knew it would go through easier. Allow me to pull it through. Okay, so there's my cut. So my slice is right here, and what I'm going to do is open it up and run this through it. Again, another reason I kept that kind of edge like it was. So then once you get there, you kind of pull this, and see, now you've got kind of this pretty little design here. So the next thing you do is now you take this top one where you see the raw backside of the leather, and you're going to cut another slat And this way it's real secure. I find sometimes if I only do one, it doesn't seem as secure. I could have cut these slats a little closer to each other, but there you go. And then I'm going to even out these pieces. There you go. Simple little bookmark there. So that's a really great way to make stuff. And again, you can polish all the edges. You could stitch around this. Like, you can make this as fancy or as simple as you want. Like, you don't have to add the little tie at the end. You could have just had it like that. I don't know that I would sell the piece of leather without some little extra, whether it's this little tie or a minimal stitching maybe. Or if you have like a laser engraver, you could, you know, laser engrave a saying on it. There's a lot you could do with the bookmark theme if you wanted. So, but that's a really simple way. I mean, if I was to sell these, because I'm using scrap anyway, I would probably sell these for this exact one. Like the way that it is right now, I'd sell them for maybe $2, maybe. Like, I probably would sell them for $2 because it did take me a little time to cut some pieces. You know, I'd make sure it was flat. So I've also found with a bookmark, a thicker leather that's stiff might seem like a better option, but you know, when it's in someone's book, they might find that annoying. I know I would. So I just kind of deal with the fact that they're a little more flimsy, but they still serve a purpose. So anyway, that is the start of my little mini series on scraps. I'm actually labeling this month. This is the first video to come out in September of 2025. I'm going to call this Box of Scraps September. So I'm going to call this Box of Scraps September. So there's this video, and I'm planning to do 2 more videos that are a little more in-depth projects. 2 more projects that are a little more in-depth with scraps. And then I'm probably going to do another one in December for a gifts guide as well. So if you have lots of scraps like I do, you're going to have lots of ideas after these series of videos. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.